Happy New Year. Welcome to Extra Healthyish, the big sister podcast to Healthyish. This podcast from Body and Soul aims to inspire you in the new year. I am your host, Felicity Harley. We have got a super exciting year planned for you, so make sure you save us to your favourites or your library, wherever you get your podcasts. Now, January, it's January. It is the new year. We're bringing you loads of inspiring guests, including today's ep with the delightful Elle Ferguson. The digital influencer and entrepreneur and founder of Elle Effect goes back to where it all started and tells us what she thinks about her Instagram feed way back then, and also how she navigates the world of being an influencer and running a business from it today. She's got some exciting news to share too, so enjoy the chat. Elle, thank you so much for coming on Extra Healthyish, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you for having me.
Now, let's start with this question. How are you going to stay extra healthyish in 2022?
Firstly, I'm not going to be too hard on myself. So that's number one. And then I'm extremely goal driven. So I love setting goals for myself. I am still going with my 10Ks in 1 hour. That's the big goal. But then just setting little goals, like by drinking more water every day, taking my supplements, making sure I exercise. So yeah, I'm going to stay extra healthy-ish by setting realistic goals.
That just sounds extra healthy to me, not healthy. And tell me, running on the treadmill for an hour, do you get bored?
So the trick is I strap my mobile phone to the front of the treadmill and I watch Glee. I have watched Glee for 22 months.
I love it. Whatever keeps you going, right?
Something.
Yeah,
exactly. Whatever. I've tried many things, but Glee is my secret sauce.
There we go. Whatever works. Now, I just want to rewind a bit to the beginnings of your career. I mean, it's on social media. What did your feed look like back in the day? I mean, I know you're on with Tash, but what's your opinion of it now when you look back? Yeah.
Oh, look, it's a journey and luckily everybody could experience it. So right back at the beginning, I used to always take all my photos next to this garage door in my street. It sounds so random, but I literally had my sister take my photos on this garage door. And I kind of look back and I laugh at it, but I also the commitment was there. Do you know what I mean? So the garage door was very prominent at the beginning. And also I think we were all getting into it. So there were so many filters and I mirrored things and I put borders around things. I think, my locations have upped their ante and I'm using less filters and tricks. But yeah, you can go back there and have a look at it, experience the life and times of Elle Ferguson on social media.
I do find that very refreshing though, that you're using less filters and things, because I feel like there's a bit of a trend. We just want to see people as they really are.
Yeah, I think, we've been really lucky. I think it's been a bit of a roller coaster. And because I think I was on there really from the beginning. At the beginning, there was such you were striving for perfection. You had to have everything. It was perfect. And I think we're really lucky that now you can be you know what I mean? Before there was a lot of smoke and mirrors, I think. And now I think you see a very true version of everybody. The funniest thing that I continually can't seem to show is how tall I am. And whenever I see people out and meet people, they're always stunned at how tall.
How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot. And then if you add it,
wow.
Really? You don't think I look 6 foot?
No, but that is impressively tall.
Yeah. So if you add a heel, it's quite tall. But yeah, I mean, I think I need to go stand up against a measuring tape and then post that so everybody can kind of know it when they meet me. But it is nice. It's refreshing. And I was lucky enough last year to go on a boat cruise with a whole lot of beautiful girls and guys, for a lot of them, quite big influencers. And it was so refreshing to see what I saw there was exactly what I saw on Instagram. Do you know what I mean? There was no editing. That was what it was. And it's really nice to be in that space.
Well, that is nice to hear as well. Why do you think you've been so successful?
I think consistency is key. I think being me, just this is it. You know what I mean? I've always been very honest with my journey. I think the community that I have now have grown with me, and all my achievements have been through hard work. And I think that's why I'm still relevant, because I'm consistent with what I do, and there's a lot of hard work that goes in it, and it's the truth. What you see is what you get.
And I think that's a really good point, because often, we think it just happens, like take a photo, put it up, but there's a lot of background that happens. I mean, I think that's relevant when I think, gosh, my social media is so crap because I just don't have time to do it, because I've got
it's a job,
kids and,
but I mean, I think when I had a turning point, a few years back when I was with Jen Atkin, and she said to me, I answer every one of my DMs. And I was like, oh, really? And she was like, yeah, because it's my business and it's my brand. And, I then thought to myself, I'm answering every one of my DMs, and I lock out time in the morning and in the evening, and I make sure I reply to all my DMs, because they're my business, they're my brand, they're my customer, they're my community. So I think what you put in is what you get out.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really nice to hear that. Now, what's your relationship like with Instagram? I mean,
we're really good friends.
Yeah.
We're really good friends.
Because some people, Instagram drives, I'm just thinking of my own friends, drives them crazy, and then they love it, and they go through periods where I'm seeing their posts every, 2 hours, and then I don't see them for like 2 months. And
you see mine quite consistently. My relationship's really good. Do you know what I mean? Like early on, I think I understood what it was, and I actually realized how amazing it could be. I launched Effect, my beauty brand, on Instagram. And if I would have had to have built a store and, fitted out a store and staffed a store, I probably would still be trying to do that now. But Instagram actually allowed me to create a product and sell it direct to a consumer globally. So I actually think my relationship with Instagram is amazing. I also think because I grew up and was bullied quite heavily, I think I have resilience, and I also know what's real and what's not.
Yeah. So how do you maintain healthy boundaries? Like, can you actually switch off?
Yeah, I can. I mean, again, it's my job. You know what I mean? That it's such a big part of my brand. So if I have, if I have things due with clients, then it's like any other job. But then, if I want to go out to dinner with my partner or my family, I'm going to turn my phone off. You know what I mean? I think I'm very transparent and very real with what it is to me. And I'm very lucky that the people that are in my life understand where it sits in my world. So if I need to, sit on the lounge and watch the TV for a couple of days and not be on my phone, then I can allow myself to do that. But if I have something due from a brand or I have commitments, then I'm going to get that done, because I don't take it for granted either.
Yeah, good answer. And what about dealing with trolls? I mean, you obviously must get a few. How do you approach this?
Well, like block and delete is your best friend. It's been my motto from the beginning. If you've got something nasty to say, then you're not welcome here. I'm really lucky that the community that surrounds me stands up for me if they see something going on. But again, I just don't engage. And that's the advice I've always given to anybody that's ever asked me, is I just don't engage. And I think to myself, they probably wouldn't have the balls to come up and say it to me on the street. So why do they think they can say it there? I don't need to see it. Block and delete.
I know. I often wonder that. If you actually said that to my face in real life, I mean, would you actually say it? I don't know. Now, tell us your career highlight throughout this, time
journey
you've been on, the journey, I call it journey, whatever.
Whatever word. Yeah. Do you know what? I actually thought about this because I've been extremely fortunate to have so many incredible highlights and pitch me moments. But I think during, last year and being in lockdown and stuff, the word influencer kind of, always gets thrown around. And I sat there and thought to myself, I'm somebody that has influence, and I'm somebody that people look to for advice or guidance or inspiration. And I thought to myself, that is amazing. Do you know what I mean? To be somebody that influences, hopefully always for the good, is incredible. So I would have to say, my career highlight is being part of this amazing group of people that can encourage change for the good and influence for the good, and be a good role model. I think that's the biggest, highlight. I really do. You know, like the other stuff is incredible. I've worked for incredible brands. I've met amazing people, but that in itself, and to be able to have done what I've done for so long and be continuing into the future is super exciting.
Yeah, you definitely influence a lot of people on your style front. Where do you get your sense of style from?
I'd have to say my mom, flawless, absolutely flawless. But then, you know, just travel was huge for me up until we kind of got locked down. And when I couldn't travel again, I sit on social media and just stalk. And I know that sounds so strange, but the best part about Instagram is that you can stalk the globe. Sometimes I end up on people's pages and I try to translate what the caption is. And I like can't for the love of God, even with translate. Then I try to find the shop that they've bought it in. But, you know, I've always been inspired by images. Like that's where my first business started was, you know, collecting images. My house is filled with books and magazines. And I think that's where, you know, my style inspiration comes from. I love vintage, you know, I think it's around us and I'm very lucky that I've got an eye for it.
Tell me something that you'd go back and tell your younger self if you know, some advice that you would give yourself way back.
There's a couple. There's don't bleach your hair. Don't bleach your hair.
I like
listen
that one.
to your mother. Don't listen to your mother and don't bleach your hair. Don't over pluck your eyebrows. But then the serious one is just don't listen to the mean girls. You know, when you grow up, those mean girls are going to be nowhere. You know, I don't even remember their names, but they had such a big, like they ruled my life when I was at school. And I just think, you know, I would have loved to have told a younger Elle, they just don't matter. They just don't even count when you get older.
Yeah. And I think that's something that, you know, we can remind ourselves now, even when we're older. I mean, we all encounter some form of mean girl somewhere in our life. And we can think, okay,
very true. They're still there, no matter what age, they're still there. But I agree with you. What you just said completely. They actually don't count. Do you know what I mean? And I think, you know, the bigger my brand has kind of got, the people that count are the people that love and adore you when you're down or you're up. The other ones just don't count.
Yeah, exactly. Surround yourself with people who lift you up.
Yeah. Lift you up, yes.
Now, I have to ask you, I mean, listeners of this podcast obviously are health and fitness nuts and wellbeing nuts.
Yes.
Have you got any top accounts you follow when it comes to
gosh.
wellness? I know I'm putting you on the spot. I'm sorry.
I know. I've literally
I would also like to know.
I've grabbed my phone to go through my list because I've got such a melting pot of people that I follow.
Well, maybe just give me right now a few of your faves, even if they're not.
Okay. I love the Pilates class, which is Jackie Kingswell, because I love her energy. And if I'm not doing the workouts, I'm watching her do the workouts. I just love it. She's amazing. Another one is I've got a thing for Pilates, is the Boutique Pilates method. She's a Queensland-based Pilates instructor. I just love her vibe again. Melissa Woodford, I think, Health in the US. She's amazing. She's got a full vibe. Who else do I like? Oh my gosh, this is so good. I'm going to think of like Tash Oakley. I love. I think she's great. Who else do I love? Elle McPherson. I love her. There's so many. People just need to go through who I'm following, I feel. That's where you're going to find it. Yeah, go through that. It's open to the public. You can see it.
Actually, I do love that. I do love looking at who people follow. I'm like, does that person follow that? Oh, what are they? Anyway.
I know. And then you end up, the worst is when you end up on like, you've gone in deep and then you're on like their sister's, brother's, auntie's business that they've just started. And you're like, how am I here? Like you're so deep down the chain.
And then it's like an hour later and I was like, what have I been doing?
I know. And then you're like, what was I doing? I was screenshotting. That's right.
Exactly. Okay. Just finally, what does 2022 have in store for you? You said you're goal driven. I mean, obviously you have the 10K run in an hour, but what else on the business front?
The business front, you know, I feel like we were blessed with lockdown that we could work super hard and, you know, like put our thinking caps on. We've just signed the lease to a new office space in Sydney, which is incredible because Elle-Effect is actually manufactured out of California. Many of our products are manufactured out of California and quite a lot then are also done in Australia. So it's really important to us that we base ourselves here in Oz. So we've just signed the lease to an office, which is incredible because I've never had my own office.
Congratulations.
And I'm really excited about what that door literally is going to open, but also just the opportunities that's going to come to that. So Elle Effect is growing, which is amazing. And then just, I really look forward to traveling again. I feel like we haven't been able to travel, and I'm hoping, fingers and toes across, that I get to go back to New York for Fashion Week in February, because you see all your friends, and their friends, their industry friends, and, it's like a big reunion. So I'm hoping that happens. I'm just hoping to stay healthy and happy. I think I've rebooted myself this last couple of years that we've been able to, stay grounded here, and I'm ready to take things on. I'm excited about the future.
Onwards and upwards. Elle,
yes.
Well, good luck with that, and congratulations on your new office space. That is very exciting.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming on Extra Healthyish.
Thank you so much for having me.
I always find it so interesting when I chat to an influencer, to someone who has built an amazing business from being on social media, to hear what it was like for them in the very beginnings. Very interesting indeed. If you want more from us, make sure you download other episodes of Extra Healthyish. We publish a new one every morning, Monday to Thursday. You can also jump online at bodyandsoul.com.au or check out us on YouTube. Have you tried looking at Body and Soul TV? You should take a look. Just search for Body and Soul TV on YouTube and you will find us there. Anyway, thanks again for listening to my chat with Elle. And if you have a moment, we'd be so grateful if you could rate, review and subscribe to this podcast. And I hope you're having a great new year. And until next time, stay extra healthyish.